Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my 26-27 EFL Championship table predictions. As you can see, once again I have the tier maker in front of me here, and yes, this time we are going in alphabetical order once again, officially this time. And yeah, this is my predictions. And before we begin, I'd like to know your predictions in the comments down below. No excuses. And let's begin. And we'll start with Birmingham City. And this is a club who a lot of people had at least in the playoffs last season. I had them just outside, actually, in 8th place. But they finished even lower, unfortunately. They finished 10th. Of course, 8th place actually is playoffs this year. Just realised the table actually doesn't show that, but the top 8 do get playoffs this year. And yes, I think they might just make it by the skin of their teeth this year. I've got Birmingham in 8th place. I think, surely a second season will get them in there and they'll push up further into and towards the playoff spots. Next up, we've got Blackburn Rovers, a side I have opposite views on. I think Blackburn could well be in a heap of trouble this year. I think, they could be in real big relegation worries, and I've actually got them going down. I've got them going down, but I've got them in 22nd place. I think, the quality they have will get them above a couple of other teams I have in this drop zone, but ultimately, I think it's going to be a bit too much to ask for survival this year. So Blackburn down in 22nd place. Next up, we've got Bolton Wanderers, a side coming up from League One last season, and again, I would love to see them stay up. It's been a long old time, maybe a decade or so since they've actually been in the Championship at this level. But I think, just look at the strength of the squad, the depth, and I just think it's just a little bit too weak. I've got them in 23rd place, going down with Blackburn. I think, as I said, I would like to see Bolton survive, but ultimately I do think they will go down. Next up, we've got Bristol City. And, of course, they have just brought in the new manager from Lincoln. Forgot his name again now, but Bristol City, obviously, they won playoffs 2 years ago. Last season had a bit of a wobble. Finished in and around mid-table, and yeah, again, ultimately, I think that's where they're going to finish again, ultimately, in and around mid-table. I've actually got them in 14th place this season. I think, I could see a slight step up, a slight improvement. But ultimately, I do think they're going to be around mid-table again. Maybe another season of consolidation. What is this? Their 12th season, along with Preston and QPR in the Championship. And yeah, I think it's just going to be another steady mid-table finish for them. Next up, we've got Burnley, the first of the relegated sides from the Premier League last season. And, well, this is one I feel like some people are going to have mixed views on. I think some people are going to think that Burnley are going to be in and around top 4 or so, and some will have them even outside the playoffs. Seen a couple people predict that. I am on the Burnley hype train. I just think, I know they've lost Jadon Anthony to Brentford, but I think they've still got a decent enough squad at this level. I don't think it'll be automatics this time, but I do have Burnley in 3rd place. I've got them being being in the playoffs, and I do ultimately have them finishing 3rd place. And next up we've got Cardiff City, and Cardiff are one of 3 Welsh sides. Someone can let me know in the comments, but is this the first time in years that we've had 3 Welsh sides in one division? I think it is. Obviously coming up 2nd in League One last season, behind Lincoln. But ultimately they've had that Championship experience in recent years, only 2 years ago, and I think they are going to survive. Only just, but I've got them in 20th place. I've got them there. I think, yeah, just another, a season of staying up, survival, and then maybe next year might well go on a bit more of a run to maybe even mid-table. You never know, with some of the signings they might bring in. Next up we've got Charlton Athletic under Nathan Jones once again, and this is one that a lot of people are worried about, and myself included to an extent, but ultimately I do think, Nathan Jones is a very steady pair of hands at this level, and I think, he was pretty much responsible for that Luton promotion a few years ago to the Premier League. I have them no, I think it's in and around where they finished last season. I've got Charlton in 19th place. I think, Nathan Jones, as I say, is a steady pair of hands, and I think as long as you keep on to him, you might just survive. So I've got 19th place for Charlton. Next up, we've got Derby County, who I think only just missed out on the playoffs last season in 8th place. 8th place last season. And of course, as we say, top 8 gets you playoffs this year. But I think, and this is going to be disappointment again for the Derby fans, John Eustace and all of them, but I think they might just miss out by the skin of their teeth again. I've got Derby in 9th place. Yeah, I mean, ultimately I think they'll be in and around the playoffs all season again, but ultimately I think they will just miss out by the skin of their teeth. 9th place for the Rams. Next up we've got the Imps, Lincoln City, of course coming up as League One title winners last season. 103 points in League One last season. I admit I was surprised by that. I did not predict that at the start of the year for them. And yeah, but I think this is, I think they've pretty much been thrown into the deep end. They are very much probably the lowest value squad in the whole division here, and again, it's like I said about Bolton, I would love to see them survive, but ultimately I do have them rock bottom. I'm sorry, Lincoln fans. I've got Lincoln in 24th place. Yeah, those are my 3 relegation spots: Blackburn, Bolton and Lincoln. I just think, I just don't see how Lincoln will have enough to survive. But go and prove me wrong, Lincoln. That's what I'm going to say. Go and prove me wrong. Next up, we've got Middlesbrough, and we all know what happened in the playoffs last season with Spygate. But this season, again, Middlesbrough are looking very strong under Kim Hellberg, and I do think that Borough will be strong again. And I've floated them around. I've got them in the playoffs, but I have floated them around a few places. I've eventually actually landed them in at 4th place, just behind Burnley. I think, I think that experience of making the playoffs a couple times in the last few seasons is going to help them, and I think they will make it again. Whether they go up or not, I'm not 100% sure. But ultimately, I do have them in 4th place and making playoffs again. Next up, we've got another playoff side from last season, Millwall. What a season they had last season, finishing 3rd. But I think it'll be a slight drop-off this season. But I can't see enough of a drop-off. In recent years, they've always been in and around the top 8. And I think with, again, top 8 being playoffs this season, I've actually got Millwall making playoffs again. I've got them in 7th place, just ahead of Birmingham there. Yeah, again, I think, like I said about Borough, I think that experience will get them just inside the playoffs this season. I think the Championship looks a bit more difficult this season, but yeah, I just think they're steady in the Championship. They're always around the top 8, and I think Mill could well go on and make playoffs again. And of course, they've got that derby with West Ham, which could be very feisty indeed. And next up, we've got Norwich City. And Norwich City, since Phil Clement came in last season, absolutely, they've been on red-hot form. And I think if they can replicate that form from the second half of last season, I think they could well be pushing for promotion this season. I genuinely believe that. But I'm not going to go as far, and I'm not going to go completely on that hype train yet. But I do have them in the playoffs. So I've got Norwich in 5th place. Yeah, this may be a bit of a surprise here. I do have Norwich in 5th. I think, they will be in the playoffs again. And, they are very much looking at some of these sides. I mean, Norwich are one of my favourites to go up to the Premier League this season, based on the form of last season, but I'm not going to go automatics. I'm not going to go all in on the hype train, but I think they can be good this season. I've got them in the top 5 and 5th place. Next up, we've got Portsmouth, and, well, since being promoted from League 1, was it 3 seasons ago now, League 1 title winners, I do think that ultimately, they've been fighting for survival each and every year, and I do think that they can, well, I think they've got more than enough to survive, as you already know from my 3 relegated sides being filled in, but I think, they could progress on this season, but I think they'll just, be around where they've been, maybe lower mid-table. I've got Portsmouth in 17th place here. I'm actually going to, switch them around. I've got Portsmouth in 17th. I think, John Messinio's kept them up the last couple seasons, and I think he can again. But, I wonder how much longer they can be circling the drain before they eventually take the plunge. I mean, they are very steady, and I do see them staying up again here in 17th place, but ultimately I can't see a press on next season for them. Next up, we've got Preston North End, and this is one I'm always kind of low on, and I'm worried again for them this season. I think, this may well be stupid, because they're always in and around mid-table, but I can see a real drop-off coming for Preston this season. I haven't been too impressed by some of the business they've done over the summer, but I think they will just survive, like a couple years ago when they survived on the final day. I think maybe them and Blackburn are fighting over it. I've got Preston in 21st place, and I know this could well come back to bite me again in May, but I do think Preston will just survive by the skin of their teeth in 21st place. Next up, we've got QPR, Queen's Park Rangers, and you know, they're one I've got reservations on as well this season. I'm not 100% sure on what they're gonna do, but like I've said about a few teams in this video already, I think they are steady in this second tier. Was this, as I say, like Preston and Bristol City, this is their 12th consecutive season down in the Championship, and well, they know what it takes to survive and get mid-table. I think they'll be slap bang pretty much in the middle. I've got them in 16th place. I think, you know, I haven't really seen enough to go down, but I haven't seen enough to push on towards playoffs or top 10 this season either. So I've got them in 16th place. Next up, we've got Sheffield United, the only Sheffield club in the league this season. And well, they've still got Chris Wilder at the helm, and I think he is good. But last season, I think they finished 13th. It wasn't a great campaign for them. I mean, if you take away Ruben Sellers' results at the start of the season, you know, they could be, and just have Chris Wilder's results, they could be in and around, you know, the playoff spots, or at least this season. But I think they will be mid-table again. I've got them actually in 13th place, just ahead of Bristol City there. Yeah, I mean, they could well prove me wrong and be in that top 8 conversation this season, but ultimately I do have them in 13th place and just, you know, very steady in mid-table. But I mean, the parachute payments have run out now, so that could be an issue. Next up, we've got Southampton, and yep, Southampton, I mean, obviously could well have got promoted last season, but Spygate cost us. But we look forward to this season. We start with a 4-point deduction, and I feel like that could hamper us. I've seen quite a few people putting us in the top 3 or 4, which I'd love, but I'm being a bit cautious this season. I do have us making playoffs here. As you know, we've only got 1 playoff place yet. I've put us 6th. I think, I don't want to get too carried away. That's the thing. I want to like have some reserved expectations going into the new season. And I think we will make playoffs again, but ultimately I think it'll just be 6th place. Next up, we've got Stoke City under Mark Robins. And, well, as we've said many times before, Mark Robins knows what it takes. I think he's made the playoffs twice with Coventry. I mean, Stoke absolutely went on a rampant start last season and then fell off. I think finished 17th once again. I think the highest position in years is 14th in the league. But I mean, if they can continue, I have liked their business they've done, and yeah, if they can continue that form from the first half of last season or first quarter of last season, they could, and do it for a whole season, they could well be in and around the top half again. I think they might be, you know. This may be, along with maybe Southampton or Preston, yeah. Along with Preston, this could well be the most stupid prediction in the video. I've actually got Stoke in 11th. I've got them making top half this year. I have liked some of the signings they've brought in this season, but ultimately, I think it can just scrape top half in 11th place. Next up, we've got Swansea City, and this is a lot of people's dark horses for maybe playoffs going into the campaign. As you know, my playoff spots have already all been filled in, but I think I'm expecting a decent season for them, and it wouldn't surprise me with the top 8 making playoffs if they went on a run or me even made it in there. Ultimately, I have them just in the top half. I've got them 12th, I think. No, they're down there. I've got them in 12th. Yeah, I think they will, well, them or Wrexham will have to see who's the stronger Welsh side this season. But ultimately I do have them in 12th. I've got them just scraping top half this season, but ultimately I think they will just miss out. I would love to see Swansea, well, even back in the Premier League, but ultimately I think they'll just miss out 12th place this season. Next up, we've got Watford. Watford are another side a lot of people seem to have worries about this season, myself included. I am worried for them, but obviously, as you already know, well, no, I do have them surviving. I have got Watford surviving, and relatively comfortably. I've got them in 18th place. I've got them between Portsmouth and Charlton this season. I mean, they could well be lower than this. They could well be in this relegation fight. Or, you know, they could be comfortable mid-table again. You never know. Of course, parachute payments ran out a couple seasons ago. And, yeah, I don't see them making it out of the Championship anytime soon, unfortunately. Next up, we've got West Brom, the Baggies. Of course, just staying up last season in 21st place. The points deduction didn't really help them much there. But I think, you know, this will be, without any points deductions, this will be a season to progress. And I think it will be a season of progression. But a slight progression. I've got West Brom very much like bang in the middle as well. I've got them 15th. I think they'll be well clear of any relegation danger this season. But I also think they will, you know, they won't be enough in the tank to push on for top half or playoffs. But again, with the Baggies, I mean, it's so difficult to predict. I mean, the whole division. They, like Sheffield United and Swansea, could well be in and around that top 8 position. You never really know what to predict from them. Next up, we've got the Irons, West Ham United. It's been a long old time, I think, since they've been down here, at least 8 years. I can't believe we've got the London Stadium in the Championship. What a ground that is. I think West Ham just look too strong, you know. And they've got Nuno, who did it before with Wolves, who we're going to come on to in a minute. Honestly, I can't see anything other. West Ham, I have got winning the league this season. And, yeah, I mean, I know it's like 2 different divisions, but I find it very interesting with the 2 league winners I've got in the Championship with West Ham and League One with Leicester. I wonder who will get more points, because I reckon they could both be in the hundreds this season. I wonder, that'd be an interesting battle to keep an eye on, albeit in different leagues. But ultimately, I do think, you know, West Ham should have a fairly easy walk to the title. Next up, we have got Wolves, and one of these I have got in the top 10, the other I've got in the automatics. And in second place, I do have Wolves. I think, you know, like West Ham, I think even, you know, I think like at the 3/4 stage of the season in the Premier League last season, they knew they were going down to the Championship, so they started bringing in players to build for it, the Adam Armstrongs. Of course, they've brought back Raul Jimenez, and they've brought in Kieran Trippier as well from Newcastle. They've built a decent squad in and around for the Championship level, and I think, you know, they have lost Rob Edwards, but they've brought in a steady pair of hands, and I think they will. The squad they've got should be top 2. And then we've got Wrexham. I've got them in the only place I haven't put anyone yet. I've got them in 10th. I think, you know, they missed out just, I think, in 7th place on the playoffs last season. I think it could be a slight step back this season, not because of, you know, they're bad, but just I can see the likes of Norwich and Birmingham being a bit higher this season. Obviously, West Ham, Wolves and Burnley coming down. They are some tricky competition. Derby, I think, will be... Derby and Millwall, I think, will be in and around the playoffs again there. And there you have it, guys. All my 1 to 24. West Ham winning the league. Wolves going up automatically. Burnley, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Southampton, Millwall and Birmingham I've got in the playoffs. And going down, I've got Blackburn, Bolton and Lincoln And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'd love to know your predictions, your own ones, in the comments down below. Alright, this is me from the future talking. This is where the video cut out in the editing process. But what I meant to say was that, yeah, let me know your comments, your predictions in the comments down below. And I'll be back later well, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday for Premier League table predictions, as well as the Game Week 1 predictions for the Championship 26-27, and I'll see you all in the next one.